Welcome to Fan for Racing Radio. I'm Fan for Racing Sharon, and joining me is Jay Huseman. We are here for the Iowa preview for the NASCAR Cup Series. And Jay, I suspect you've already checked out the entry list.
I have, and the way they have it listed, there are 37 drivers and teams. It doesn't identify open teams. Joey Gase is listed as in the number 66. We know that Front Row Motorsports and 2311 are all open teams now, but again, not really a factor because we have 40 spots available. Nobody's going to miss the race. But Joey Gase is in the number 66 this weekend at Iowa.
All right. Now, at Iowa Speedway this weekend, which is a 0.875 mile asphalt oval, the NASCAR Cup Series will be racing the Iowa Corn 350 powered by Ethanol, and that will be on Sunday, August the 3rd at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It will be on the USA Network. We're getting into the NBC portion of the season now, and that should be their pre-race coverage will start at 3 p.m. Eastern. Then the MRN and SiriusXM channel 90 will carry the radio coverage. They will race a distance of 306.25 miles over 350 laps. First stage is going to be 70 laps, ending on lap 70. The second stage will end on lap 210, and then the final stage is ending on lap 350. Now, for the NASCAR Cup Series, they'll have their practice and Busch Light pole qualifying on True TV, MRN, and SiriusXM at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the race, as we mentioned, will be on that practice is on Saturday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then Sunday is the race at 3:30, as we mentioned earlier.
All right. Now, when we look at the insights and storylines we got going for Iowa Speedway, this weekend marks just the second running of a NASCAR Cup Series race at Iowa Speedway. Last year was their first year. This is a second year for a Cup Series race.
There are 4 races left in the Cup Series regular season. Iowa this weekend, and next weekend they'll be out at the road course of Watkins Glen, and then they'll finish up at Richmond for the penultimate race and Daytona for the season finale.
And that is a wild set of races because it is go time / crunch time / whatever you want to call it.
Making it happen time.
Yeah, it is time. Chase Elliott leads the regular season point standings by just 4 points over William Byron. Now, Chase Elliott won the 2022 regular season championship.
Yeah, poor William Byron. He's been on top all season long, and it's just faded on him in the second half of the season. Now, the top 4 in the regular season point standings are separated, though, by just 20 points, Jay. The closest after 22 races since 2012, in which they were separated by 17 points.
And this is one I know sometimes we wish they'd give us more information. I went and looked it up. Aside from Chase Elliott and William Byron, Kyle Larson, who was battling in the top 3 of Hendrick Motorsports, as well as 4th place is Denny Hamlin, who missed a race. He's still within 20. So I think this is going to be a wild shootout for this regular season championship. Now, continuing on that, though, a Hendrick Motorsports driver has led the regular season point standing following each of the last 20 races. Ryan Blaney is the one that broke that up as he led the points following race number 2 of the year. Since then, it's been Byron, Larson, and now Chase Elliott.
All right. Now, the top 3 drivers in the 2025 regular season standings are all Hendrick Motorsports drivers. You've got Chase Elliott first, William Byron second, and Kyle Larson in third. It's the 7th race this year that the top 3 in the regular season points are all Hendrick Motorsports drivers. 2025 is the most races Hendrick held each of the top 3 positions in points. So a banner year for Hendrick Motorsports.
Now, Bubba Wallace really busted the playoff bubble with his win at Indianapolis, because that playoff bubble, which had been highly contested, is now actually 42 points between Chris Buescher and Ryan Preece, and that is the largest bubble of the season.
Now, a driver pointed their way into the playoffs from below the cut line this late into the season just once in series history. Under the current points format, 2017 to 24, and that was Clint Boyer. He was 2 points back after race 24 back in 2019. So we'll see if another driver can make that happen this year.
We've talked about that. It's tough to do based on points, but winning is a different story. In every season of the next-gen car, 2022 through 2025, at least one driver has won into the playoffs from below the cut line in these final 4 races of the NASCAR Cup Series regular season. So that would change that playoff bubble yet again.
And I think it's possible to happen. Last year, 3 drivers that were above the cut line at this point or later in the regular season ended up missing the playoffs. So right now, we've got Chris Buescher, most vulnerable drivers for that to happen.
Now, 5 of the last 7 races on ovals here in 2025 were won by drivers getting their first win of the season. We still have a few that are in the playoffs above the cut line that haven't had a win. So it doesn't say they got to be below the cut line, though.
Okay, now in the playoff era, 2014 to 2025, 40 of 45 races at short tracks were won by drivers above the playoff cut line. The last driver to win from below that cut line was Austin Dillon, who did it at Richmond just last year.
Well, we talked about the top 3 in points, and they're all Hendrick Motorsports. They're the only team with at least one car finishing in the top 10 in all 22 races here in 2025.
Hendrick Motorsports had at least one car finish inside the top 10 in the last 30 races, the longest streak by a team in the next-gen car for sure.
Now, talk about a few individual drivers. Kyle Larson with 4, Denny Hamlin with 4 as well, and Ryan Blaney with 3 have combined to win 11 of the last 14 short track races. So those are the 3 you're going to want to kind of keep your eye on here in Iowa.
I would think so. Now, Denny Hamlin finished top 5 in the last 5 races on short tracks, including a win that came at Martinsville and a second-place finish for him at Bristol in the 2 short track races so far this season.
Well, that's good news. But the bad news is Denny Hamlin's last finish outside the top 5 on a short track was his 24th place finish at Iowa last year. Oh. He started 12th and was running 34th by lap 32 and spent over 100 laps off the lead lap.
Now, Kyle Larson finished in the top 10 in the last 5 short track races. He's tied for his longest top 10 streak on short tracks. So we'll see if he can break that tie this weekend.
And don't do everything based off of fast lap time, because the last time the pole winner won at a short track race, that was Denny Hamlin, but it was August 2019 at Bristol.
Okay, and a different manufacturer won the last 3 short track races. So there was only 3 manufacturers, so that's going to be broken this time.
That's what I was thinking. That one's definitely getting broken because Dodge ain't going to be back in this race for sure.
Yeah.
Now, the last 6 short track winners were all over 30 years old. That's an interesting one. Some of the tracks that lean towards the younger guys. This one's a veteran type race.
Yeah, I think it was just the opposite that we had for the Xfinity Series. The leader of the most laps went on to win 6 of the last 9 short track races. So this is one where the leader of most laps can come up with the victory.
And this streak goes on for a long time, almost as long as I've been around. The last 4 short track races ended with a green flag run of at least 75 laps, and that's the longest streak on short track since at least 1978. And it says at least 1978. Apparently they don't even have a historian that goes back that far.
Okay, now Hendrick Motorsports with 5, Joe Gibbs Racing has 3, and they've combined to win the pole in the last 8 short track races. So those are the teams to watch this weekend.
And those same two teams, HMS and JGR, lead all teams with 6 wins each on the short tracks in the next gen car era, which is 19 next gen short track races.
And William Byron has led a lap in 13 of the first 16 races of the season, but hasn't led in the last 6 races. So we mentioned he's been on a kind of a slide in this second half of the season.
He is one of those that came out the gate strong, but you're right, just not been as dominant up front as he had been. Now, Chase Elliott is the only driver without a DNF in 2025.
And 2025 is the second straight season that Elliott completed all but one lap raced in the season, entering the 23rd race of the season.
And Chase Elliott's 726 points scored here in 2025 is the fewest ever by the points leader after 22 races under the current points format. And that's been in place since 2011.
Okay, and the eventual winner has not led before lap 124 in 16 of the last 20 short track races. That's incredible. And let's keep in mind, John Hunter Nemechek is making his 100th Cup Series start this weekend. 5 drivers have won in their 100th start. The most recent driver to do that was Eric Jones when he had his 100th start at Darlington in September of 2019. He ended up winning that race.
All right. With 4 races remaining following Indianapolis Motor Speedway, we got a few drivers that have clinched already, being that they have multiple race wins. Those 6 are Chase Elliott, William Byron, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, and Shane Van Gisbergen. Now, clinching via previous wins, they may have 1 win. The following drivers that would clinch with their previous wins, if a win were to come from Elliott, Byron, Larson, Hamlin, Bell, Blaney, Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, or Shane Van Gisbergen. Those are the other drivers with 1 win. Ryan Blaney would then clinch with 23 points, Chase Briscoe with 40, Bubba Wallace or Joey Logano being the bottom 2 in points as far as with their win, would need some more help.
So we might see a couple of drivers clinch here.
We should. I think we're going to, yes. Now, drivers that would clinch on their previous wins, if Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, Chris Buescher, Ryan Preece, Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs, or Josh Berry, Blaney would need 48 points. Briscoe and Bubba Wallace can only do it with help. If the win comes by AJ Allmendinger, then Blaney would only need 41 points. Chase Briscoe would need almost max points at 55. Bubba Wallace still needs help. Michael McDowell, if he were to win, Blaney would only need 38 points. Briscoe 54. Bubba, again, was on the cut line, just got a victory. He would still need help. If John Hunter Nemechek were to get his win in his 100th start, Blaney needs 36, Briscoe 52, Bubba Wallace still needing more help. Eric Jones, or another winless driver lower in the standings. Let me real quick look where Eric Jones is. They started with Allmendinger at 18th, McDowell 19th. We're talking about Eric Jones. He is 22nd, just so you know where they're at in points and where it would take. So Eric Jones, or another winless driver lower in the standings. Blaney would only need 23 points. Briscoe 40 points. Bubba Wallace would still need help, but Joey Logano's back in that category. If they're that low, he could with some help. Drivers that would clinch on their win alone for their second win would be Reddick. Reddick's would be his first one. Blaney, Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, and Josh Berry. And the following drivers could clinch with a win and some help: Alex Bowman and Chris Buescher. Again, they're right on the edge, just like Bubba Wallace was last week. And with that, I'll go over to the point standings.
Yes, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the drivers and how they stack up in the points.
Well, top 4 we already talked about, so ranging just 20 points back. I want to look at their playoff points, though. Chase Elliott only has 6, so the regular season championship bonus of 15 would help him out a lot. William Byron has 12, Kyle Larson 23, Denny Hamlin 24. The 23 and 24 are the top two. There's a couple with 17. Shane Van Gisbergen would move up to third with 17, as well as Christopher Bell. Bell is in fifth, and you have Tyler Reddick. Like I said, he doesn't have a win, but one stage and one playoff point. Blaney's pretty solid at 10 playoff points, so one win and 5 stages. Chase Briscoe right in the middle with one win and 2 stages at 7. Mentioned Alex Bowman. He's in ninth, 146 points out of the regular season championship. No wins, no stages, so he's got nothing to fall back on. Chris Buescher, kind of the same, one stage win. His, believe it or not, is -4. His one stage win got him 1 point. He had a penalty that got him -5, so he hasn't earned any of the, or all but one of those back. Bubba Wallace actually has 1 win and 2 stage wins, so he's got 7, as does Joey Logano. That's why they were right together. Ross Chastain only has 6. He's only got the 1 stage win with his victory. Then we got Ryan Preece is in 14th, 2 stages for 2 playoff points. Kyle Busch has 0s across the board. 16th in points is Ty Gibbs at 464. No wins, no stage wins. But we have 3 drivers. Austin Cindric in 17th, Josh Berry in 21st, and then Shane Van Gisbergen in 27th. That victory does catapult them in. So you've got to go up to Ryan Preece in 14th is actually on the outside. Chris Buescher in 10th is the one in. And that is a difference of, we said, 42 points. That's a lot. Can be done in one race, highly unlikely. Again, it would take a real bad finish and a real good finish. So that points bubble has become serious. We talked about it last week. It was a little bit closer with Bubba Wallace in the mix. Once somebody from below the cut line moves up, though, yeah, that can become a big points gap. And again, right now, of Chris Buescher actually sitting in 10th in overall points, but is the one on the cut line because of the winners below him that are going to catapult in. So winning's important. Winning is important.
And keep in mind, it's kind of phenomenal. There's 16 playoff spots. 13 drivers have qualified with a win. Only 3 are in on points right now. And if somebody below that cut line wins, it's going to push another one of those guys down and below the cut line. And the most vulnerable is Chris Buescher, even though he's 34 points ahead.
Now, with that, since we were talking about some of those clinch scenarios, that explains why that's the case. Even though they have a win, they weren't listed as guaranteed. Because technically, with 4 races remaining and 3 spots you, Sharon, mentioned on points, we could, don't think it's going to happen as much as I'd like to see it just one time. The odds of it are not real great, but the odds of Ty Dillon going all the way to the championship in the in-season challenge weren't real good either. So we'll know more come next week. But these drivers, after this week, these drivers with 1 win, some of them, like Sharon said, to be a little more secure and maybe even clinch in with that 1 victory. I know that they tagged that line of win and you're in. Technically, it is not a guarantee. And this is the 2nd time I think we've been this close. I think we've had it where only 1 driver got in on points. Like I said, I'd like to see it one time, and I'd feel so bad for somebody that gets a win and doesn't get in. But
yeah, that would be so disappointing to get a win and still not get in.
It was the year Michael McDowell won the Daytona 500. So he had the win, but they were close, and he was below the cut line. He was going to be the one to get pushed out. And I remember thinking that. I wanted to see it happen, but I'd have felt really bad for Michael McDowell having gotten the Daytona 500 win and possibly not making the playoffs.
And Shane Van Gisbergen has pretty much secured his spot with those 3 wins, even though he's lower in points than Josh Berry. He has the 3 wins.
That's it. You're right. By having a multiple, he definitely 2 wins does guarantee you absolutely in. Josh Berry, again, one of those that had a good run and got a victory, but 21st in points has just not been consistent week in and week out.
All right. So anything else you want to make sure we mention before we move on, Jay?
I think we're looking at a great race this weekend. You mentioned it to the point of even at the cut line, 42 points. You're almost already in a must-win situation over the next 4 races. It'll be interesting to see if at Iowa, a short track, 7/8, just under a mile, whether or not that aggression comes out. When it comes crunch time, it's kind of like a restart with a overtime restart. It's absolute go time. And we've seen some wild things. We're getting to the point where we may see some strategy or just bonsai moves because they know it's their last chance.
Well, I hope it's strategy versus bonsai moves because it's always unfortunate when somebody is the victim in those situations. So we'll see what happens.
Well, and again, it's got to be it can't just be a total bonsai. I hate to bring up that name, or the situation, but Austin Dillon did it, and NASCAR said, no, that was across the line. We're not going to allow that. So again, it has to be within reason as well. You're right.
All right. So do watch for more coming soon from Fan for Racing Radio. All of our reviews will go up on Thursday. I'll kind of scatter them throughout the day so that everybody has a chance to see each one. And then, as I mentioned, Taz and I will be doing a fantasy preview on Friday morning. We'll put that up on Friday afternoon. And then we'll head over to the other side of the race weekend with our reviews on Monday, along with our Hot Topic Sound Off live stream starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Time here on Fan for Racing Radio.
And Sharon, I know we had it in our group chat, and we didn't talk about the truck series since they're off this weekend, but I do want to say thoughts and prayers with Stuart Friesen, an absolutely horrific wreck. Thankful he is okay, and I say that with tongue in cheek because he does have fractured leg and a busted up pelvis. It's going to be a long recovery for him. I haven't seen any news, more updates on that, but do want to keep him in mind.
Yes, indeed. Our prayers go out to him and his family. Okay, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. And we're going to look forward to seeing you again on Friday or on the other side of the weekend, Jay.
Absolutely.
Take care, everybody.